Left 4 Dead was one of the coolest zombie games I can remember, and so is its sequel. I really enjoy this series, but there's actually some interesting trivia surrounding it. I'm Falcon, and today on gameranx we're going to bring you the top 10 Left 4 Dead facts. Number 10, Mike Patton from the band Faith No More voiced all of the zombies in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. In case you don't remember Faith No More, let me refresh your memory. You want it all, but you can't have that. That song. That's Mike Patton. He's actually done a lot of really random voice work, including The Darkness 1 and 2, and the Rage Core in Portal 1. Which I probably would have never guessed, really any of these. Number 9, there was going to be a big tie-in between Cabin in the Woods, a horror film that blew everybody's mind, and Left 4 Dead 2. There was actually going to be a DLC in Left 4 Dead 2 that was going to happen, but MGM, the company that was in charge of the movie, went under and they really didn't have the money. And as you know, game development is very expensive, and if the money ain't there, well, if it's a big company working on it, it's not going to happen. But in the movie, you can spot various infecteds from Left 4 Dead, including the Witch, the Boomer, the Hunter, and even the Tank if you look really hard. Cabin in the Woods was awesome as far as references go, and it's just a shame that DLC never happened. Number 8, that thing on Nick's neck, it's not like a bite or an injury of any sort, it's actually a hickey. It's not really that believable as a hickey, to be honest. It looks kind of like an injury. But he's got lipstick on his collar, and he's a ladies' man, and his suit's worth $10,000, and blah, 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 blah. And supposedly that's what that is. Number 7, the movie Zombieland was meant to take place in the Left 4 Dead universe. In fact, it was supposed to take place during Left 4 Dead 2. But Valve obviously didn't want to play that game because probably a couple of reasons. The first being, video game people are understandably scared about video game movies. They've always been terrible. There are way more movies that conform to that rule than ever have been an exception to, and I get it. Also, if they ever make a Left 4 Dead movie, I'm guessing Valve is probably going to be at least involved, but probably more or less ready to make a crap ton of money off of it by either charging for the license or producing the film themselves. Number 6, Left 4 Dead 2 is still one of the top 50 games played on Steam, but that's not the fact. Being it's one of the 50 most played multiplayer games, it needs servers. And being it's an old game, those servers are generally not maintained as well as they should. And that's putting it lightly. At one point, people got so mad about it, modders made a mod where you could shoot up servers, Steam servers specifically, inside the game. Now keep in mind this is a while back, but really, it's been said that the problems really haven't been solved, which kind of sucks considering it's still a very popular game. Number 5, Left 4 Dead was released in Japan as an arcade game. Now, it had also been released as a console game, but the arcade game is significantly more interesting because they replaced the characters with brand new, completely localized, Japan-centric characters. And they are bizarre. And include an anime-style university student, a Japanese schoolgirl, an American bartender, and a half-Japanese, half-American tour guide. Now, they didn't change the levels or anything like that, but they went with a totally non-traditional arcade setup for how you play it. There's a Wii nunchuck and a mouse, giving you actually a pretty close to a PC game style control scheme, leaving me to wonder why they don't do more like that here. Number 4, when the game came out, it was originally going to have 2 fingers chewed off of a hand in order to show 2. It was Left 4 Dead 2. But the ESRB had a problem with that, so Valve had to change that in order to have 2 fingers pointed downward to signify 2. Oddly enough, the original Left 4 Dead cover had a thumb chewed off of it, and so did the proposed and used cover for Left 4 Dead 2, meaning the ESRB apparently didn't have any trouble with the thumb, just the fingers. Number 3, Left 4 Dead uses an AI system called the Director, but it's actually a pretty clever thing. It reads what you've been doing and tries to figure out what would maybe be a little bit more difficult or scary for you in the next, few minutes. This not only has something to do with how the game spawns enemies, which does not include any fixed spawn points. It changes based on your current situation, your skill skill level, the status you're at as far as, health, skill, items, etc., and location, and pretty much makes the game different all the time, at least on some level. It also changes character communications and visual effects and music based on the same factors. It's, in my opinion, one of the things that makes Left 4 Dead such a cool game. It's just that it never seems like the exact same experience. It always seems fresh and new, and that's ultimately what you really want from something like Left 4 Dead. Number 2, the actor Chad L. Coleman, who portrayed Tyrese on AMC's The Walking Dead, who is also quite well known for his role on The Wire, voices Coach in Left 4 Dead 2. See, Coach was one of my favorite characters in Left 4 Dead. He always seems to be a little bit ahead of everybody else as far as where his thinking is, and Chad L. Coleman does a great job with that. And finally, number 1, a lot of people on the PC lament the fact that you really can't play it split screen, or can you? Now, this has been passed around a lot over the years, but using a little bit of ingenuity and editing of the Xbox 360 controller configuration file, you can kind of force it to give you split screen. Now, it's not the easiest thing in the world. People who don't have a lot of experience editing controller configuration files, or really just any kind of configuration file, it might be a new experience for you. But once you sort of look into it and read one of the guides that's been posted to the internet about it, it's not the worst thing in the world. And it's worth it if you've got a friend that maybe wants to play the game but doesn't have the means to play it. I mean, there's a lot of people that even look at it as though this is the only way to play it. Now, I'm sure you'll find a lot of PC people that will argue against that, but I say choice is better. That's my opinion anyway. What's your favorite thing about Left 4 Dead 2? Let's meet in the comments. I'm interested in what you have to say about that. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, and if you're not subscribed, now is a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.